Imagine this, an extra stream of money just landing in your account. Every single month, we're talking about cash that, well, works for you, freeing up your time, building a bit of a financial cushion. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty specific, a goal lots of UK investors seem to be chasing, generating $15,882 a year, passively. We've looked through the sources you shared, and yeah, our mission here is to unpack at all the strategies, what this number really means, basically give you a shortcut to getting your head around it.
Yeah, and the core idea, the thing that really grabs people, is making your investments actually generate cash, earning while you sleep, essentially. It's about building assets that, pay you, which can totally change how you think about work and financial security. And honestly, with living costs going up and, well, the job market feeling a bit shaky here in the UK, it's less of a daydream and more like a necessary strategy for quite a few people now.
So why this big focus on passive income right now in the UK? I mean, what's the real drive? It feels like it's about building resilience, doesn't it? And options, like a safety net. Relying on just one salary, well, leaves you a bit exposed. Passive income acts as a buffer, against losing a job or just inflation eating away at your pay packet. It's definitely not about getting rich quick schemes. It feels more like building something solid long-term.
Financial resilience.
It is, and it's about freedom. That's the bottom line for many. I mean, unlike your job where income is tied to hours worked, right? Once these streams are set up, your money can be working 247, and that gives you real choices. Less money stress, for sure, and maybe making work, well, optional. Not necessarily quitting, but knowing you could. That's powerful.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, I think. That specific number keeps popping up. $15,882 a year. Why that exact amount? What's the deal? Is there some kind of magic to it? Not magic, but it is very strategic for UK investors. $15,882.10 isn't just plucked out of thin air. It's basically the point where you can potentially maximize your main tax-free allowances for income. You skillfully combine your personal allowance, that's £12,570 currently, with the £1,000 dividend allowance and the £1,000 savings allowance. Do that right, and you could generate that $15,882 stream without paying income tax on it. It's about being really tax efficient.
Wow, okay, so it's engineered around the tax rules.
Pretty much, and think about it monthly. That's 1,323 tools. For a lot of households, that could cover the rent or the mortgage payment, maybe utilities, a big chunk of the groceries. Hitting that number isn't just symbolic. It represents, real financial breathing room. Takes off a lot of daily pressure.
That's a great point. It's a milestone then, something you build towards over years, not where you start day one. It makes it a really clear, motivating target if you're investing for income long term. Gives you something concrete to aim for. All right, so we get the why and the specific target. Let's get into the how. What are the main tools people in the UK are actually using to try and build towards that 15,882 to us?
Well, broadly speaking, you're looking at three main things: stocks, bonds, and funds. Stocks are, shares in companies. For passive income, you're interested in dividends companies sharing profits with you. They generally offer higher potential returns, but yeah, they come with more risk, more ups and downs. Then you've got bonds. These are basically loans you make either to companies or governments. They're usually seen as steadier, you get regular interest payments, and normally you get your original money back at the end. Predictable income, but usually pays a bit less than stocks might over the long run.
Okay, but picking individual stocks or bonds, that sounds pretty intimidating for a lot of people, right?
Okay.
Especially if you're just starting out, which probably leads many towards funds.
Exactly. Funds are a really common route. Think of them as baskets holding lots of different investments. Your money is pooled with others, and it buys maybe hundreds of stocks or bonds. So instant diversification, which spreads your risk. For income seekers, there are specific income funds. They deliberately hunt for dividend-paying stocks and interest-paying bonds to give you regular payouts. And then you've got things like low-cost index funds. They just track a whole market, like the FTSE 100 or a global index. Maybe not strictly income-focused, but great for long-term growth and diversification. Very popular starting point. And the key thing here is getting the mix right for you. That's asset allocation. It really depends on your age, how comfortable you are with risk, when you might need the money. Someone younger might lean more towards stocks, aiming for growth. Someone nearing retirement, probably more bonds for stability. But honestly, most people end up blending them.
Right. That makes sense. Now, you mentioned something earlier, the sort of secret weapon behind growing this pot of money, compounding. Can you break that down? How does that actually accelerate things?
Yeah, compounding is, it's incredibly powerful. It's where your earnings start generating their own earnings. Let's try an example. Say you have a share worth £10, and it pays a 50p dividend each year. That's a 5% yield, right?
Okay.
Now, to get that 15,882 dollars a year target income, let's say you aim for an average yield of 4% across your whole portfolio. You'd need around 397,000 pounds invested.
Wow. Okay, that's a big number.
It is. And that's why it's crucial to see this as a long-term game. That's where compounding shines. Think about this. If you invest just 100 pounds a month and get an average return of, say, 5% a year, after 10 years, you might have over 15,500 pounds. But keep going for 30 years. That same 100 pounds a month could grow to nearly 83,000 pounds.
That really shows the difference time makes.
It absolutely does. It shows how reinvesting those dividends and earnings consistently can turn small amounts into something significant over decades.
And that word consistently, that seems vital too. You hear all the time that just investing regularly, month in, month out, bees trying to jump in and out of the market.
Oh, definitely. Trying to time the market perfectly is, well, pretty much impossible for most people. Consistency is king. The best practical step: set up a direct debit. Automate it. Money goes from your bank to your investment account every month without you even thinking about it.
Takes the emotion out of it.
Exactly. And when you invest the same amount regularly, you automatically practice something called pound cost averaging. Basically, your fixed amount buys more shares when prices are low and fewer when they're high. It smooths out the bumps over time, really helps manage volatility without you needing a crystal ball.
Okay, so consistency, automation. Makes sense. But that first step, just starting, it can still feel like a hurdle for people. Maybe they think you need huge sums.
Yeah, that's a common misconception, but honestly, every big portfolio started small. You can genuinely begin with, say, $25 a month. The key is just to start.
And it's easier now than ever, right, with apps and online platforms.
Absolutely. Modern platforms have made it incredibly simple. You can open an account and make your first investment in minutes, often just on your phone. So, practical first steps. For UK passive income, opening a stocks and shares ISA is usually the top priority. Why? Because your growth and income inside it are tax-free up to the annual limit. It's a huge advantage.
Right, the ISA wrapper.
Then, pick a platform. Look for low fees, really important, and one that's easy to use, not confusing. For a complete beginner, a global index tracker fund is often a really smart first move. It gives you instant diversification, owning tiny bits of thousands of companies worldwide. It's low cost and pretty hands-off.
Set it and forget it almost.
Kind of, yes. Set up that regular monthly payment into the tracker fund within your ISA. That's a fantastic starting point.
And then you can learn as you go, presumably.
Yeah.
Maybe explore those income funds later, or even individual shares if you get more confident.
Precisely. Start simple. Build your knowledge. Build your confidence. Your portfolio can grow and change with you.
So, looking beyond the pounds and pence, what does achieving something like $15,882 in passive income actually mean for someone's life? It feels like it boils down to freedom and security, doesn't it?
I think so. It's about having that cushion. Life throws curveballs, right? Unexpected bills, maybe losing your job, an emergency pops up. That income stream can make a massive difference in how you handle those moments.
Less panic, more options.
Exactly. And it opens up choices. Maybe you want to travel more, or cut back your working hours, or finally start that side project or passion you've dreamt about. Passive income gives you back some control over your time. Your life isn't solely dictated by needing that next paycheck. And thinking longer term, into retirement. It can be the difference between just getting by and actually living comfortably, doing the things you want to do. Building this stream really does reduce financial anxiety. It builds confidence. It's about overall well-being, not just a bigger bank balance.
Okay, but we have to address the elephant in the room: risk. Investing isn't risk-free. Markets go up, markets go down. You could lose money. How do people square that with this long-term goal?
Yeah, acknowledging risk is fundamental. You absolutely can lose money. So managing that risk is key. First, think long-term. Markets fluctuate, yes, but historically over long periods they tend to recover and grow. Patience is vital. Second, diversification. We touched on it with funds. Don't put all your money in one company or one sector. Spread it out. Third, and this is crucial, have an emergency fund. Separate cash, easily accessible for maybe 3-6 months of expenses. That's not your investment money. It stops you having to sell investments at a bad time if you hit a rough patch.
Right, keep them separate.
Definitely. And fourth, stay calm when markets wobble. Panic selling is often the worst thing you can do. Equally, avoid chasing hot tips or jumping into things just because they're going up fast. Automating your investments, like we discussed, helps avoid those emotional decisions. Discipline matters.
And one more risk: scams. Right.
Yeah.
They seem to be everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. A huge risk. As investing gets more popular, the scammers get more sophisticated. Be incredibly wary of any promise of guaranteed high returns. If it sounds too good to be true, it almost certainly is. Full stop. Be suspicious of unsolicited contacts, calls, emails, texts, social media messages pushing investment opportunities, especially if they mention urgency or secrecy.
High pressure tactics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Legitimate firms don't work like that. Always, always check if a firm is authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA. You can check their register online. Use the contact details on the FCA register, not ones given to you by the person who contacted you, and never, ever send money or give personal details to someone you haven't verified independently. Stay skeptical, double check, don't be rushed. Protecting your capital comes first.
Sound advice.
Yeah.
So wrapping this up then, building towards that $15,882 or any passive income goal, really, it's clear it's a marathon, not a sprint. Time and consistency seem to be the absolute bedrock.
They really are. My best advice: make saving and investing a habit, like brushing your teeth. Non-negotiable. Keep learning. Use reliable sources, not just random tips online. And start simple. Stick to those low-cost, diversified options initially. Your portfolio can get more complex later if you want it to. And keep your goals in sight. Why are you doing this? Is it security? Freedom? That dream retirement? Write it down. Look at it often. It keeps you motivated.
So a final thought for everyone listening. What really stands out to you about aiming for this kind of financial security? How might achieving something like this change the way you think about your own time, your own choices? Maybe starting right now.
Yeah, think about that. Because ultimately, the first step, however small, is yours to take. Start today. Make your money start working for you.